On this episode of Out of the Box Gaming, we are so disappointed. Wait. Not with you. Don't leave us. We are disappointed with some games, and we think that some of them shouldn't have been made. So power up your favorite console, press play, and enjoy gaming with us.
What's up, gamers? Welcome to Out of the Box Gaming. I'm your host, Nick Picard, and I'm joined by the man that is not a disappointment, Will Kinsey.
Hey, I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, ever since I met you, you haven't been a disappointment, so, I thought it was fitting.
Hey.
If you're joining us for the first... What? You want to say something?
I said wholesome.
Oh, okay. If you're joining us for the first time, or for the 42nd time, we would like to welcome you. We are a gaming podcast where we talk about all types of games, like video games, board games, card games, etc. Sometimes we'll have special guests on here where we learn about their story and journey into gaming. And you may ask, hey, why are you guys going to, talk about that? Well, it's because we want to, and we think that we have something to say that you may want to hear.
That's right, everyone. We want to share our love of games with you and, possibly introduce you to something new.
If you would like to catch us live, you can do that by going over to twitch.tv/AceKingKing on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are also joined this morning by our wonderful producer, Lindsay.
Morning, y'all.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hello.
Hi.
Also, guys, be sure to check out our Discord because, we want to hear from you guys. So feel free to drop topic ideas and discussion questions that you'd love for us to talk about. And this can be done by obviously joining our Discord and then going on over to that topic ideas and discussion questions text channel.
And I believe Lindsay is ready with a trivia question for this episode.
Yeah. Okay, my question is, what popular dining franchise is the founder of Atari also responsible for? It's weirded a little wordly. Okay, so the founder of Atari is also responsible for, I guess, founding a popular dining franchise.
Dining franchise?
Yes.
Dining.
Yes, I can't give much more than that without possibly giving away answers.
Are we allowed to ask if it's fast food?
I do not know how to answer that question.
Okay.
So when she says that, it could either be that it is fast food, or it could be the type of restaurant that's like, you don't know if it's sit down or fast food.
Like I said, I can't really elaborate more without you getting really close to the answer.
Gotcha.
Roger that. Well, that is a phenomenal question that you have for us today, Miss Lindsay. If you guys at home want to think about that question, we're going to come back to it at the end of the episode. We'll give our answers, and then we'll hear the correct answer.
Yes. So today, everyone, what we have for you is we're going to just be talking about games that we think that should have not been made, or should have not, existed at all because of how bad or disappointing they are. Because, there's a lot of them out there. We have opinions on things, and yeah, but I'm sure there's, some games in here that we can all agree that shouldn't have been made. So, and I know earlier before we started this, Will was saying that he had a list of a few different ones. Like, he has what were the different categories you said that you had?
So I've got the ones that I personally, in my very humble and extremely biased opinion, I think shouldn't have been made. And then I have some that were very disappointing, which goes along with the topic, but I still think they should have been made, just given more time or more care by the developers before release. So I do want to touch on some of those games that were hecka disappointing, but still they should have been around.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I have one for my roommate because I told him the topic and he was like, dude, this game, it just came out and it's a disappointment. You got to put it in. So I'll mention that at the end.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there was another like type category that I could think of, but I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see if I can think of something. I mean, which one would you like to start out with? Ones that just shouldn't have been made, and they were
Yeah.
awful, and they ruined the franchise, or if they didn't even have a franchise, just they're dead to begin with. So,
Yes.
um,
We'll do that one.
I don't necessarily have like a lit like like I was saying before to Will that I don't really have like a list like written down. I have different sites open of ones that people have said because there'll be some on there that I've just totally forgot about, or ones that I never played but I heard that were bad, or some that I have played and are terrible, but like I said, I just forgot. Um, I'm just trying to think of which one I want to start with. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say, for one, no, that should be that category. Okay, dang it. Because for me, it's hard to figure out if which one, like, of drawing the line of like, it was bad or disappointing, but it could have been better. So I feel like it should have been made. So I'm just trying to think of ones that just should have not been made, and that's kind of hard for me. Um, Oh man. I mean, well, if you have one, you can go ahead as I'm just trying to think of ones that absolutely shouldn't have been made.
Yeah. So, a lot of people would probably put this one in the other category of, yeah, it was disappointing, but if it had more time or more love, it could have
Hmm.
been better. But straight up, Fallout 76,
Oh yeah,
that
that was
game
dumb.
was terrible. Garbage. Hot online garbage. That's all that game was. Literally crafted stuff out of garbage.
I'm trying to think which
Nah,
one 76 was.
it's the big multiplayer one that had absolutely no NPCs when it first came out, and you could like build bases and stuff with your friends and do all this awesome like multiplayer crafting and like almost like dungeon raiding, but none of the dungeons were any good. It was just rough all around.
That one came out in
Um
2018. When did was that the latest one?
I I think there's another
When
Fallout
was Fallout 4?
type game, but I think that was the last one.
Fallout 4. That was
Fallout 4 VR
2015.
is actually really good.
Fallout 4 was 2015. I think that was the last one I played because I'm not big into Fallout games. I try to get into them because I know a lot of people like them. Especially our friend Alex, who he swears up and down for Fallout, New Vegas. I think that's what it is.
New Vegas was
Yeah.
really good.
I've tried, and I think Fallout 4 was the one I really tried to play, but I just couldn't get into it, and I don't even think I'd touch 76, just because I'm like I don't want to give this another chance. I don't want to try to force myself.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't give Fallout 76 the second chance because
Just
that was
garbage.
just rough, man. It was garbage. Like I tried to enjoy it. I
Hmm.
made a big base with my brother and a bunch of his friends, and like I had my own base, and then like I helped out my current roommate before we moved in together. And everyone that I played with all has the exact same opinion that it was just a very disappointing game and didn't really contribute anything to the Fallout series. So
Gotcha.
in my humble opinion, think that Fallout 76 just should not have been made.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Um, so I came across one from these different lists that I have, and I know Lindsay mentioned it. I think it was yesterday. It was the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, Infinite Warfare. That was because the first one, whenever they started the exosuit, it was Advanced Warfare, right? I know we've talked about this before on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
pretty sure we determined that it was
Infinite Warfare. So
Infinite, that was just really bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never did play Infinite Warfare, and I'm glad I didn't. But from what the people say, like, this is the one where you go to space and all that, and I'm like, no. It's like they're just taking what they did before and just trying to. I don't know. Was there like a popular movie or something, or popular movies around this time that was like, just space, and they were just like, you know what? Let's try to do this because a lot of people like the space thing. Let's go to space. I don't know if that was it.
Maybe.
I feel like there were a lot of space movies going around that time. I don't know if that particularly influenced the game's direction. But yeah, there were a lot of those space movies going
Yeah.
on. Like, I
Uh,
think there was that Matthew McConaughey one where he's crying the whole movie. That one was around that time, I think.
Interstellar.
Like, don't come
Yeah.
at Matthew McConaughey.
I like that movie
that.
though.
Alright.
But yeah, so personally for me with Call of Duty is they just have one every year. And I know it's like a different team or something, but I feel like sometimes maybe they just need to do like what Assassin's Creed has done with some of their games. Because Assassin's Creed they used to, poop out one like year after year. But then there was times where they did it in 2 years. And then the one whenever they waited in 2 years, that next game was really good. Um, Part of me feels like Call of Duty franchise they maybe need looking at that because there's not much different in the games each year. It's kind of like with sports games. Really, sports games they don't need to make any each year because a lot of them are disappointing. Like Madden for me is just disappointing with bugs and stuff. Like, and they say, oh well, it's a new roster. I'm like, just give an update where you have different rosters and stuff. Like, I mean, that's all you need. And I know they're just putting them out for more money. Because that they would sell, but for me, it's just the same game, and that's kind of like how I would feel with like Call of Duty, where they just need to maybe take like 2 years in between and make the next one like really good, maybe like make a solid longer story mode rather than I think the last one they had was like 5 hours, and I remember them being at least 8 hours when I was younger. Like maybe that. So I mean, I feel like they could do it. I mean, they got Warzone, and people still play that. So I feel like they could, take time in between. But yeah,
Yeah.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That was definitely one that they should have stayed away from.
Fair. I do like the touch on how rapid fire Call of Duty was putting out Call of Duty games. And kind of still is.
Yeah. Another game that's I never played it. I feel like a lot of these are ones that I haven't even played. Of ones that were like big disappointment was Mass Effect Armada or Andromeda. What is it? Andromeda, I think.
Andromeda.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Man,
I just
if
heard it was
Ethan was here, he
terrible.
could talk about that.
I heard it was terrible. I never played it, but that's all I got from it was like, this sucks.
Yeah, I was never huge into the Mass Effect series, but from everyone that I know who was a fan of it, and especially our friend Ethan, who was a diehard fan of Mass Effect, even said that that game was just the biggest letdown. Just kind of nuked the series,
No.
which is like that. It's sad because it was supposed to be like really good. But yeah, I didn't play it either. I've heard nothing but disappointing reviews from diehard fans, which is sad to hear.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played. I think it was the second Mass Effect. I don't even think. I think maybe I played a little of the third one. I can't remember. I know the second one actually played the whole game, and I really enjoyed it. Um, and I feel like there's a lot of potential with that series, so it's kind of sad to hear that they, just straight up like destroyed it with that game. that franchise. Though I still think people are excited for the like the remastered thing coming out or whatever for Mass Effect. But it's just really sad to see where like there'll be some games like that are really good, and then ones come out that just kill the franchise. And it just baffles like my mind, like what goes through like through their head of like they go through it like, yes, this is a good game, but then it turns out to be really, really bad. Like I don't even know how you could stop that.
What was the Halo game that was really bad that everyone hated? Was that Halo Wars?
I think so.
I remember there was one that just everyone absolutely hated. I think it was Halo Wars.
Which was Halo Wars the different kind of like game? It wasn't like a first person shooter. It
Possibly.
Can I get list of games? List of Halo games. Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. Which was the first Halo Wars? Yeah, there's some Halo games I didn't even know were a thing. Like Halo Wars. That one came out in 2009. Images. Yeah. So that was like a Halo Wars. From what it looks like, is if you ever played Starcraft, I think that's what it is. One by Blizzard, like the top down, like the overhead view or something, and it like tactical kind of combat.
Yeah.
I think that's what it kind of looks like.
Gotcha.
So it's a completely different game from the Halo, like normal first person shooter games. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I also heard bad things about it. I think I may played it a little bit. I think a friend had it, and I tried it out a little bit. Gosh, there's some good games there, but I think those are ones that need more time.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put the old classic Sea of Thieves on this list.
That it shouldn't been made at all.
It shouldn't have been made.
But we've said that the game would be better if, like,
if it had particular elements which are never going to be a part of an update. So the game should have never been made.
Okay. I mean, sure, if you want to put it like that. If like, because we know there's things that could be made better.
Yeah,
but if it's never
not like
going to happen,
rushed out.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it could have been like, just take your time with it. Think of everything. But I mean, they clearly didn't think of everything. Like I still get annoyed. I still get annoyed of thinking about us like sailing away for an hour from being, and like we're still just being chased. And
dude, 4 hours. We spent 4 hours that Sunday afternoon being chased by the same people.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves just should not have been made. Like the state of the game is bad, and it was bad when it released. It's just and they had no plans of making it good.
Better, yeah. I think they started to make you can have separate servers. You can have like a private server or something. But I think that costs money. It's like, well, just give us the PvE option. Like, or at least make it where people can attack you at an outpost. Let us bury our treasure. Let's just
give us the Royal Navy.
Let us be pirates.
Yeah, burying treasure would be baller, because there were so many times I got away with our treasure, but couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
What's the point of getting treasure if you can't bury it?
I know, right? Especially when you're a pirate. It was very disappointing. So another game that I keep seeing like pop up is one. It was a franchise I never played, and it was one where a lot of people were waiting for it, and it was the Duke Nukem Forever that came out
Uh,
in 2011. So this was the one that was the longest in development, right? Or what you said?
I think so.
Yeah. And this was one that people just absolutely hated. I never played it. I don't even know what the game is about. Um.
yeah, I
Uh,
think I rented it, because I do remember playing it, and I mean, my little teenage brain loved it,
mhm.
but yeah, it wasn't a good game, and for the hype behind it and the like amount of time and development, and yeah, it didn't live up to the hype. Don't necessarily know. Yeah, it probably shouldn't have been made.
Let's
They could
see.
have just like not made it, and the world would be fine.
It said like after the 15 years
Sure.
of like de- crappy development and all that stuff, they finally put the game out, and graphics were outdated, um, and inconsistent. Its humor was offensive and unfunny. Wow, that's not good. Its gameplay was so poor that it felt like it never had 15 years of thought put into it. Wow, cool. I mean, like I said, I
Yeah.
never played it. I never actually saw the graphics of it. And it came out what I said 2011, so
Mhm.
I don't even know how outdated it could be. But I mean, if they didn't make updates as they were developing it or whatever, I can see how it would be outdated.
Um, I have another couple for this.
Okay.
Again, my very humble, biased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Freaking Valorant just should not have been made.
Now, why is that?
um, because it's just bad, man. Okay, it's not bad. It was just very disappointing. It's not what I was expecting. I'm not a CS:GO type dude,
Mm-hmm.
so playing CS:GO with superpowers is just like, yeah, okay. It's just disappointing, and I mean, I feel like they could have put their efforts into something else. It's just
I gotcha.
Valorant didn't need to be a thing.
I mean, I'm just glad that Riot was actually expanding and doing other games.
Did you know they're doing a fighting game?
No, makes sense.
Yeah,
Kind
2D
of,
fighter. It's gonna be baller.
kind of makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
because Riot, I mean, what they had League for the longest time, and they added TFT. And then they now have a card game, Valorant, and then you said they're making a fighter. So I mean, props to them for making
But
other games and not just milking
it's a
League.
League of Legends 2D fighter.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I'm a little too excited for that because they've got actual professionals, like players from the fighting scene and developers from the fighting scene working with um Riot developers to make this fighting
Nice.
game. It looks really good. But
Okay.
yeah, Valorant, doo doo.
Yeah. Um. So one that I don't think. I mean, I still feel like it should be made, but not this one. Like they definitely need to have more time or whatever. But it was Star Wars Battlefront. Whenever EA took over,
I was
that
thinking
first one,
about putting
the first one, the second one was bad when it first came out of what they did, but then
the first remake.
the first remake. And I'm just saying, like the second one, people were upset with the second one, but they actually made improvements with updates and stuff, and
Yeah,
it got popular. So the second one's fine, but the first one of the remake either just shouldn't have been made, or they just really needed more time with it.
yeah.
Honestly, let's just say they shouldn't have made it, and they should have did what they did now, what they have with the second one. So
Good old EA. EA. We're gonna talk about them a couple times today.
um but yeah, I mean,
uh,
I remember playing it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun, and then I was like, this I had more fun with the older with the old like Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2 and the Battlefront. I had more fun with that one than I did with the remake that EA did. It's just there was things in there I was like, no, why is it like this? Why can't you do what you did, what whoever made it in the first one, the original ones? Like, why don't you do that? Why do I have to do all this and get like freaking and get like not coins, like get points and spend those points on this hero or whatever? Why can't it just be like, hey, I'm doing good, you give me the offer of getting to play that hero if I want to play? Or why can't the vehicles be on the map? Why all of a sudden do I just gotta spit like, buy this vehicle and then all of a sudden I'm in a vehicle and a vehicle appears? The vehicle should already be on the dang map and we should have the option to get into them or not, like the old ones.
Also, the vehicular combat always felt like it was very much on tracks in that game. Actually, most of the combat felt like it was on tracks. It was always just go straight and shoot things.
Yeah. And then also, I want to be able to. I know there was like ships above the fighting or whatever, like the ground fighting. But at least give us the option where we can go out into space and continue the fighting. I know that would be huge and stuff. And maybe have like a mission where we're doing stuff down here and we have to fly up into space at the space station or something and continue the fight there or whatever, and not. I don't know.
I feel you, dude.
Yeah, shouldn't have
missed opportunities. I have one last one for the shouldn't have been made category, and then I'll have to move into the needs more time category.
Okay.
But this one's not as popular as some of the other ones that we have mentioned. But World of Tanks Blitz. So World of Tanks, the main game, the big game, is great. Is fantastic. But World of Tanks Blitz is like a condensed version of the game where they take out all of the big maps, they take out all the fun tanks like artillery, all like the long range tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of left with a very basic, like stripped down, bare bones game where you only play with like basic light, medium, heavy, and like sniper tanks, I think, maybe like tank hunters.
If the other one was so popular, why'd they make this one?
I don't quite know, but for the longest time, Blitz was the only one that you could get on Steam. I think maybe you can get it on mobile and some other things. Like it might be more friendly to like consoles and stuff. But yeah, I played World of Tanks first I played it on PlayStation, on Alex's PlayStation, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my PC, got on Steam, and I saw World of Tanks, and I downloaded it, and I realized that it was World of Tanks Blitz. And it was just the most disappointing, sad time ever.
I mean, I feel like with what you said of it being like not as bad, like I feel like they could have just easily put that in World of Tanks and just had it as a game mode.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just its own separate game that has far less stuff in it for no reason at all. Seemingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it on the games that I think like just should not have been made. I'm sure there's others out there, but that was my list.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, it kind of would just kind of. There's that line of like, do I think the game should have just been made and just been, more time or what they could have done, or just not at all? So, I mean, we can go into the next category, unless Lindsay had some.
Well, I just have my one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joe's Flipping Diner. Why was it made? Like, it could go in either category, I guess. There could have been a lot that they could have done to make it better. But at the point at which they made it, just why? 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 Like you do the same exact thing for 30 levels, but why? And if there is a run function, why don't you tell me how to run instead of me not knowing how to run? Oh. Why?
True dat.
I don't know. I feel like it is a very loyal adaptation of what working the graveyard shift at a haunted diner would be. So personally, at the very least, I feel like this could be excellent training materials.
Just stop. No, there is. What? Oh, so you're saying like you? I just can't. Like, okay, I just got hired as a basically janitor because they weren't even serving people; they were just cleaning up. It to work at this diner in the middle of the desert from like midnight to 6 a.m. Like, I'm gonna sit down and play this game so I know what to expect. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly, 100%.
No. No. Just no. And, I mean, I've got another one, though the game isn't out yet.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Prince of Persia, don't infiltrate me. Just... I legit will play it when it comes out. Because I've talked so much smack about it.
If you want to send us a copy, you can contact us.
I mean, that'd be great, but I'll still buy
Prove us wrong.
And play it.
Prove us wrong.
All I'm saying is your graphics looked better in your last one. 10 plus years ago. What's up with that? But I'll give it a shot. That's all I got.
Okay. Before we move on to this, the next one, I'm just going to go ahead and put one out there that a lot of people would hate me for, and I'm just going to say it and we can move on. That should have not been made. Grand Theft Auto. All right, let's move on to the next part.
You mean like any of them? Any of them?
Yeah, any of them.
1 through 5.
More importantly, 5. We'll move on.
Were the first ones as bad, like, content-wise, as
So the very
5
first
is?
Grand Theft Auto was technically not a Grand Theft Auto type game, but it became a Grand Theft Auto type game. GTA actually has a really, really cool history. But we'll talk about that another time. Also, Nick, you should probably play Saints Row because Saints Row games are way worse than GTA games.
I've never played Saints Row. No, it's just I have just opinions on it of like what you're doing in Grand Theft Auto, and I remember our friend Ethan saying that he played one, and it got to a point where you're basically having to film 2 people partake in a certain act, and you can't look away or you'll fail the mission. And at that point, he was like, you know what? I'm done with this. So I was like, I feel like that shouldn't be a requirement in a game. So
yeah, that is the thing. You have to blackmail someone. Yeah, that's fair. I remember that mission. That is a pretty messed up mission.
Yeah. So, but moving on, we can. I mean, I can mention out some other ones that I've seen on some lists, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. Never played that one. That people say shouldn't have been made. Some people said Fallout 4 shouldn't have been made. Knack. I never played Knack. Division. We'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that.
Division.
But yeah, so we can move on to ones that we think like were disappointing, but we think should still come out, but definitely needed more time or some changes or something. Because there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
Okay, so Avengers.
Yeah, Marvel Avengers. I enjoyed the game. I haven't played it in quite a while. I'm mostly waiting for Spider-Man to come out on it, so then I can, just kind of see. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they should have done differently. Honestly, my biggest thing is I wanted to be an open world game type one, kind of like Destiny, where you go somewhere, it's all open world. You can run to this place and then you can start a mission there. Not where in Avengers where you had to get in the in like the Quinjet or something, and then you go and do the mission, and then after you do the mission, you're back in the Quinjet or the helicarrier, and you have to select your other mission. I just want to be dropped down in this area and let me run around, and if there's enemies in the way, like let me go and fight those enemies or something. Make it more Destiny like of how they have it, and I would have enjoyed it so much more.
And the missions were all too similar.
They were cookie cutter.
Yes. Yeah. Like, give me a different looking building that I'm in. They were all pretty much the same.
Yeah. I still think, it's one where I still think, it should be made.
Yes.
But it definitely needed changes or needed way more time.
Like, I think that the characters and how you play them, I enjoyed that. I didn't have an issue, with any of that, with how you level up and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the sound of Thor's hammer hitting enemies. But there were definitely some improvements that could have been made.
Yes, absolutely.
That would have me still playing the game. Because I haven't played it in a long time. Because it was all the same. I did enjoy the campaign, though.
Yeah, the campaign was really good. The story on it was really good.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I like Kamala better than I thought I would.
One game that I'll say I feel like it could have used more time was For Honor.
Yeah, I didn't really like the game that much.
Yeah, I know Lindsay didn't like it. I enjoyed it, but just seeing what they have done to the game, I feel like it definitely could have used a little bit more time. Story was good. I remember doing that with an old coworker. It was pretty fun. But I definitely feel like it should have had more time. So.
Yeah, I mean,
did you play it when it first came out?
I did not, but I bought it when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the whole thing with that was, obviously I didn't own a PlayStation, but Alex had a PlayStation, and he let me use it all the time. So we went to Best Buy, and we were looking around at stuff, and I bought For Honor. I was like, I'm just gonna buy this game for the PlayStation, and I started playing it, and I played a little bit of the campaign. I was like, okay, cool, I got some of this down. I'm gonna hop online, and I couldn't get online.
Ooh.
Me and Alex spent a whole lot of time trying to troubleshoot this game, like figure out like how the crud can we play online, and I just couldn't play online. So I didn't touch the game until probably a year later when I got my PC, and I got it on Steam because my brother wanted to play, and then I actually really enjoyed it from there because I was actually able to play it online. Because, in my opinion, it was a good game. It just had a lot of those weird bugs for a lot of people that just didn't make sense. So I was disappointed in that when it came to For Honor.
Yeah, I knew whenever they first showed it, I was super excited for it. I'm like, oh, this looks absolutely amazing. But they just need more time. Polish it up, make it better, change things, more characters, something. I mean, it's in a good place now, I think. I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but
it's in a really good place.
I mean,
now.
From what I've seen with like Ubisoft's track record, they'll throw out games and then people won't like it. But then if you give them like a year, and then the game becomes popular or good. And I know the same thing happened with Rainbow Six Siege. Like people didn't like it at first, but then now it's like a year later.
It's one of their biggest games.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but that was that was definitely one that I feel like they should have taken more time.
Yeah, Ubisoft has one of those weird track records of like, oh, yep, this isn't popular, and it's 50-50 on whether they revive it or not.
Yeah,
because they've let so many things just like die. They're like, all right, cool, that game's dead, but they'll move on to other things, or they'll keep like Rainbow Six Siege has been going strong for years now. I really enjoy it, and I think we're going to talk about it on an upcoming episode, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's a really, really, really good one. Oh, so my big disappointing one.
Yeah.
So like Cyberpunk, right?
Oh yeah.
We need to talk about Cyberpunk.
Yeah. We'll talk more about Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Poor guys, poor CD Projekt Red. Yeah, they just needed more time, man. If it had released, say, this week
Yeah.
or in the last month or so, I feel like it would have been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like again, I can't say that it shouldn't have been made because it looked so good and it was so promising and it does have a lot of cool bits to it.
Yeah.
But it really needed that extra couple of months, man.
And I know I know a lot of people still say they enjoy it. I know one of the people that we've have played like Apex with and stuff. He says that he loves the game even with like the bugs and stuff. But I know from what they put out, it really disappointed a lot of people. So it just falls in that category of they needed more time.
Yeah, most definitely. Which I mean is kind of sad because I don't know if CD Projekt Red can blame that on anyone else.
Yeah.
Whereas with like Anthem, we can just blame EA. Because that's my next one that I have to mention is Anthem.
That's one that I was going to bring up as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, Anthem. Gosh. So I'm just going. I know I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Anthem was a game that I got when it first came out. I kind of had some fun playing it. At first when I saw like gameplay, I was like, oh, I want to play this kind of javelin from it. But it turns out I ended up playing a different kind of javelin, and I had more fun with that. And I think I played all the different javelins they had. I think there was 3 different ones or something, or 4. No, there was 4. I 100% the game. I did. But man, did they just drop the ball on it because they came out and they're like, this is not what we said it was going to be, but we're like, here's our roadmap or whatever. We're going to get to it. Like there was like a big event thing that they were supposed to have. It was supposed to be like, game changing or whatever, like this huge thing. It was like going to be really cool. And it didn't come out when the game first came out. And they're like, oh, it's going to be coming like, I think a month later or something. It never happened. Or if it did happen, it didn't really do anything. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this or whatever. And they didn't. I mean, I still played the game, 100% it. But then I was like, I'm going to wait until they have the updates before I come back and play this game. And it was like a month or so ago or whatever, they have officially ended everything on it. Like they're not even, because there was supposed to be a big rehaul of it that they promised or whatever, and they just scrapped that away, and they're not going to do anything with Anthem. So yeah,
and that was such a promising game, man.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential. It did, and I know, from the beginning, people were just judging it, like whenever they showed the trailer, and whenever I saw it, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to play this game. Whenever when they first showed that trailer, I think at like E3, it's like, I'm not sure. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if I want to play it. It just looked like it had a lot of potential, but they dropped the ball on it pretty hard.
Yeah.
So
part of me almost feels like some of that struggle is connected to the Superman curse of no one's been able to make a good Superman game.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like part of that has to do with the physics of making your character being able to fly on command, like almost always. And that type of like physics in most engines is going to be a pain in the butt to try to code. And I feel like they bit off more than they can chew, and EA was breathing down their necks being like, hey, finish this.
Yeah. I mean, the flying around wasn't, it was wonky. Like, it wasn't terrible. I've done some things that are like flying games or something that's worse. It was wonky though. And being able to like stop or whatever, It was
to like hover in place and get that.
Yeah. Though the character I did play, it was the one that mostly stayed up in the air. It was like the warlock type thing. And then I'll bring this back to like Marvel Avengers. Whenever I played Iron Man, the flying around with Iron Man felt the exact same or close to what you would in Anthem.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I still have fun. Like whenever I did play Iron Man, in Avengers, I had fun with it. But the flying, I was like, man, I'm getting a lot of like Anthem vibes from this. So, and it's
feel that, yeah.
Like it could be done better, but like you said, it's hard with physics and stuff, and probably really hard to code. But
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm positive if they had a little bit more time to really get things nailed down and put more time into the polish, Anthem would have been heckin' solid.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, are you done with Anthem?
I'm pretty much done with Anthem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next one, and I don't know if our friend Cody is in chat, and I don't know if he can agree with me on this. And I don't know if you've played this before, but it's Battleborn. This game, I can't remember when it came out. I know it was in the past.
Was that Battle Royale?
It was not a battle royale. So Battleborn. Battleborn came out in 2016, around the same time that Overwatch came out. I think it came out like a month earlier. It had. I remember playing the demo of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." It had different characters that would do different different abilities and stuff. They had an online thing of it, which the online was like League of Legends. Think of it more like Smite, where it's like that MOBA type thing, but your third person view. That was the online of it, but I was mostly playing it for the story, and it was hilarious. Like it had really good humor, and it was a lot of fun. But that story was so short, and for me, I didn't feel like it had a lot of like replay value with it. Like, yeah, I can go through the story again with a different character, but whoop-de-doo. And then the online play or whatever, I played. I don't know how many hours I'd put into it, but I was just terrible at it. Like, it just seemed like there was people that were just like top tier. Like I don't know why, but it also just seemed to fall short. Like with their online play, it didn't really seem that great. I still feel like it was a really good game, but they really need to put more time in that story and make it for me like have better replay value. Because it like had good humor and all that stuff, and I had fun playing it, but it was just very short, and I was very disappointed with it. And also, it probably didn't help the fact that Overwatch came out like a month later, and it was kind of similar with like different characters with different abilities, but it was a different kind of game.
Right.
But yeah, that's one of my biggest like disappointments. So could have been better. Could have been way better. Yeah, that was like one of my biggest ones. And I know we said we were going to get to Division. Did you ever play the Division?
Yes. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It seems like of the times where Lindsay and I, we played the Division together, and then we did Division 2. And it just seems like whenever we played it, we got done with the story, and then we were done. We never really went back to it. With Division 2, we're like, oh, this one's, really good. We're going to go back because, like free DLC or whatever. And we never did. We finished the story, and then we never touched the game again.
Yeah. And
I don't know why. Like, because I had fun playing it. Like, I enjoyed the third-person shooter of it with the cover-to-cover kind of, like, combat or whatever. And you kind of, be a little tactical. Like, it was really good. But there was just nothing about it to bring me back to it after beating the story. and I feel like it's just one of the ones where they could have put more time into it. And it just seems like with Division 2, like, hey, between Division 1 and Division 2, they had plenty of time, but there was not really a lot of changes. So
yeah. Which one was in DC again?
that was second one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure I'm giving words to the right ones. The second one, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like after you finish it and you like unlock your ultimate weapon for your class, it's like, okay, well now what do I do with this? There's nothing for me to do but like hunt down random dudes in the street to shoot them with this big weapon.
Yeah.
What's the point of giving me this big old thing if there's no more missions? And yeah, they had the DLC to like do stuff after that. But I finished the game. Like there was nothing else for me to do.
Yeah.
But literally just like walk around and wait for dudes to try to attack me.
Yeah. And I know there was some new things they added with the second one that I enjoyed. There was like different like little mini mission things or whatever. It's like, hey, defend this little like outpost or something or whatever. Like that was cool. Like they added some things, I guess, to give you more variety of things to do compared to the first one, but it was still kind of lackluster. Though I mean, I'll say the second one. To me, I feel like the second one was better than the first one when thinking about it. Overall, what they had, but it's just not much was different.
Yeah.
And part of the reason, I know this is like a little off topic, but the Star Wars game that like the open world Star Wars game that's coming out by Ubisoft. Yeah, the people that made Division is making that, and I'm a little worried. I'm just hoping it's nothing like Division. I'm a little worried about that, but yeah,
we'll see. I'm optimistic about it, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. At least it's not EA, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if I really have any more that I can think of. I know I'm mostly like just looking through the list that had some of my options on there. And you know what? I'll touch on this one for like just a side note. I enjoyed the game. Absolutely love the game, but there was just something in it that needed to be done. It was Batman Arkham Knight. Love the game. The only issue that I have with it was they forced the Batmobile too much on you. It's like, yeah, cool, you're going to get the Batmobile, but there was just you had to do so many things with the Batmobile, and I was like, I just feel like you're just kind of shoving this down my throat, and I don't like it. Like, give me the option where I can use this or do something else. I don't want to have to use this in this situation. So that's the only problem that I have with Arkham Knight was just too much Batmobile. It was forced on you way too much.
I feel that. Yeah, I have the one last disappointing game that was basically a recommendation from my roommate who I did watch him play this game. It just came out, but Monster Hunter Rise. It's the latest installation of the Monster Hunter series, and I mean the weapons are great, the combat's great, everything's fluid, the physics are great. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
But the campaign's extremely short. Like I think he said he beat it in less than 10 hours. Like basically got to the end credits. Now there's a bit after that where you like work on your village and you do some other hunts.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual story, he said was incredibly disappointing in terms of its length. And there's not a whole lot of options in terms of armor sets apparently. Which I mean, coming off of the last two Monster Hunter games where they were pretty dang big and the campaigns took quite a while to finish, and then there were all sorts of side missions and bonus things to do.
Yeah.
I can see that being disappointing. But it is a new game and it will get updates. But the base game, as it just released, apparently fairly disappointing in terms of its length.
Gotcha.
That's all I've got for today, my man.
Yeah, same here. I know there's some video games out there that people say should never be made, like the really like old games, kind of like the ET game. That is like one of the biggest disappointment. I mean, those are ones that are just kind of like obvious of like it's out there. It's known to be like this is like the worst game ever. Like shouldn't have been made or whatnot. I mean, we're trying to. I think most of the stuff we said were more modern within like the last decade or so.
Yeah.
Some may have been like back
Definitely
in
the last 20 years.
Yeah, last 20 years. So, but yeah. I mean, yeah, we're good on time. We can actually go later than what we normally do since we missed last week.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we can go ahead. Unless Lindsay, did you have any games to add?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to Nostalgia Game of the Week. This is where we spin a wheel that has, a bunch of games on it that give us that nostalgia feel. Whatever it lands on, we'll briefly talk about it. And if you have any suggestions for us to put on the wheel, you can do that by joining the Discord, going to the podcast section, and there's like a nostalgia text channel that you can add games there. Let's see. Let me spin this wheel, and we got Halo. Just Halo.
Just Halo.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I just added that one today.
Hey, nice.
So yeah, Halo. Look, that one. Gosh, that was such a good game. First time I ever played it was on. I saw my uncle play it on PC or on his laptop or something, and he let me play it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I think that was like the first time I ever played like a first person shooter like on the computer, and I had a lot of fun. And I think it was later that year or that Christmas or something, I wanted it. Like I wanted that game on computer, and I ended up getting it. And it was a lot of fun. I can still remember going through some certain areas where me as a little lad didn't like it was a little unsettling whenever the flood came out.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, I'm not liking this. I want to run away. So, but yeah, like Halo is definitely one of the. I know a lot of people talk about today, like Halo's a really good game. Back then it was a really good game. Halo now it seems very very different from the very first one, and I know I've gone back and I've tried to play the first one, and if you haven't and you've played like some of the newer ones and stuff, it's different.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even think you can like sprint. You can't sprint or aim down sights or anything on that one. I don't think.
I was trying to remember which one I would have played in middle school, but it probably would have been at least Halo 2.
Halo 2 is by far my favorite.
It would have been Halo 2 or Halo 3, because Halo 3 came out when I was in like 6th grade.
Halo 3 came out in 2007.
So it might have been 3. 2 or 3.
Might have been 7th grade.
No, I was about 11. I don't
remember.
remember. We would have been the same grade.
I don't know how old I am.
We're the same age.
Are we?
Yeah.
I mean, like on a metaphysical level?
I don't know. So I probably did not play Halo 1, the original Halo. I did not play that. But whatever I would have played in middle school would have just been multiplayer. I didn't play any story, any campaign, anything like that. So.
Yeah. With Halo 2 is my favorite. I know a lot of people say Halo 3 is their favorite. I think I put more hours in Halo 2, and that's where I really got into Halo with the multiplayer and stuff. That one has more of a nostalgia for me.
And you get to dual wield pistols
Yeah.
in Halo 2, which, come on.
Yeah.
Which was it Halo 2 where the pistols were broken, or was it Halo 1? I remember one of the games, the Magnum pistol was just insano.
I don't remember. I mostly just
Hmm.
remember in Halo 2 online playing SWAT, and you just get the BR and I guess a pistol or something.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite because it was basically like a one-shot kill. So it was like, hardcore from like Call of Duty back in the day. So it was more, I guess, realistic than, having to unload like a clip and a half to 2 clips into someone for them to go down.
Yeah, if I was SWAT the like one hit headshots and
Yes.
like yeah.
One hit headshots. You had the BR battle rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, that one. Man, I miss playing Halo 2 online. I miss those days.
Isn't it in the Master Chief Collection?
I think so. I mean, is the online for it still active?
For the Master Chief Collection, it is. I remember I played one of the games from that collection with my brother and his friends. We were like we were playing against each other. But I don't know if there's actual like public servers for that right now.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it is a thing. And you can play with friends.
All right. Well, I guess we can briefly talk about what we've been playing since we've missed a couple, or we missed last week, and we do have time. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
So Nick, what have you been playing recently?
So I've played a lot of Apex. I'll say that. Um, now let me pull up my Steam to see what else. I played Gloomhaven. I ended up getting that. I traded some games in the GameStop and I got more money than what I thought I would. For credit.
I was expecting $3, but
Yeah.
that would have been the cash value.
Yeah. But I got like it was 130 something or something like that. So I ended up buying like a $50 Steam gift card with it, and I ended up getting Gloomhaven. And I was kind of going through the like tutorial type thing they have on there, and I enjoy it. So I plan on playing that some more. I may need to go through the tutorial again to remember everything. But it's really good. Um, let's see. I know I played some Dead by Daylight a little bit, just a little, because it was on Tuesday where we were playing, and there was an update in the middle of it, so
Yeah,
we didn't really get to play. It was like we played like a couple like practice games for our friend who was just learning how to play, and then the update hit, and it didn't hit for him. And I had to update when I got back in. He invited me. It was like, you have 2 different versions though. Like someone needs to update. And it's like, well, we're not going to get to play, so we didn't get to play that. Played some Stardew Valley. Just continue with that. It's pretty good. I tried. Look, yesterday I tried to start For the King to see how that is, but I just wasn't feeling it. I pulled it up. I looked at it. I was like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling it. But I did try a little of Astroneer, the tutorial for it. I enjoy it. I want to see what more I can do. But I was just kind of like doing what the tutorial said of like, hey, we're gonna go put these tethers down so you can still have oxygen. Keep moving forward. Hey, collect this, make this, and I want to tell you how to do it. Okay, well, let's try to launch into space when you find the ship. Oh, you can't. You don't have any thrusters. We're gonna have to go over here. We're gonna have to make thrusters. So collect more of this material and do that. And I was like, okay. I mean, it's just more of that survival thing or whatever.
Right.
But I just kind of want to get in and just kind of like see what else I can do. And then
yeah, that one definitely seems very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I like the whole space thing. Like, I like space and all that. So it kind of appealed to me. I just kind of need to play a little bit more before, making a decision on if I really like it or not. and I played Valheim yesterday a little bit. Actually made a house and figured out how to do roofs. And I know I was
Heck
telling you
yeah.
that. And then other than that, I'll just say the biggest game, and this game is a total, totally not a disappointment. And It Takes Two. Lindsay and I played that this week, and we beat it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a new game that came out
last week.
Last week or whatever. Yeah. And if you don't know, It Takes Two, it was published by EA. Speak more of EA. But it was a really good game. But it was the people that made A Way Out. They're the ones that make it. And it is a cooperative game. You have to play it with someone else, and 90% of the time it is split screen. Even if you play online, it's going to be split screen because you got to see both screens. And we played as it's a married couple they decide that they're going to be getting a divorce. And things happen. They're forced to be these little dolls that you get to go around, and you have to work together. It's a couples therapy type game or whatever. It was a lot of fun. I give it a 9 to 10 out of 10. It was absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it for anyone.
Dang.
Yep. You do need to find someone to play it with though. And what's really cool about it is one person can get it, and if you found someone to play it with, you can send them a code and they can play it. They don't have to buy the game themselves. They basically, one person buys it and two people can play it, and they give the option for online like that. So it's really cool that they did that. That way, not two people have to buy the game separately.
Yeah,
so
that's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be kind of a pain in the butt if it was a 2-player required game and both players had to buy it.
Yeah.
Depending on the price of the game, obviously.
Let's speak of the price. This game was an average of 15 hours. A 15-hour game or whatever, and as good as it is, and it only costs $40.
That's not bad at all.
Compared to a lot of games nowadays or whatever, are going to be, still that $60 to $70 range. And some of them you don't even get that long of a campaign for a $60 game. Because
right.
I can even speak about Spider-Man Miles Morales. If you just did campaign on there, just the story mode, it would be 8 hours maybe or something. I did everything, which caused the game to go a little bit longer. Where I think it was 12 to 15 hours for me. But this by itself, it being a brand new game, and only one person has to buy the copy of the game, and you can give a free copy of the game to someone to play with you. And it being 15 hours long on average, and you're only paying $40, dude, that's a big win. This game was absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it for anyone to play it, or just everyone to play it. You just got to find someone. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Will?
I was gonna say, are you gonna let Will talk?
Man. Well, as usual, I played a little bit of League, some ARAMs. I hopped back on Rainbow Six Siege recently.
I saw you. I saw that you were on that, through Discord.
Yeah, just to kind of mess around. Keep sharp a little bit. They did put Sam Fisher in the game a while back, and I had to go in and play him. Not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed with how they did him in the game. He looks fantastic, and his cinematic was great, but his equipment's kind of disappointing.
I gotcha.
As you know, I played a crap ton of Valheim recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have 130 something hours in the game. Me, my roommate, and our friend have been just grinding it, man. We're almost to the end. We have 2 more bosses to go. We're about to fight the fourth boss. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fourth boss. It's wild. I tamed some wolves. I
Oh
think
yeah,
I
yeah,
showed you those last night.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. Makes me very happy because that was hard, man. They take much longer to tame than pigs.
Okay.
And you can only find them in the mountains, which is a very inhospitable place. And the wolves want to eat you when you first meet them, so taming something that wants to eat you is difficult. But yeah, I've really been enjoying Valheim. Been killing it. Let's see, what else? What else have I played? Yeah, I guess that and some Dead by Daylight. Because that's just a good game. But that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Lindsay? What have you been playing?
Mostly same stuff as Nick. Stardew. Played some Apex, which might I say, I'm getting pretty good at Apex. For my level of gaming, I'd say I'm getting pretty good. And then of course It Takes Two. We played that this week. Fantastic game. Would definitely recommend. 10 out of 10. I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, you did a little Geoguesser last night.
Yeah, I did some Geoguesser.
Yeah.
I think because they added a new streak. They had the country streak, and then they added the United States streak. And I almost think the U.S. streak is harder than the country streak, which is weird, but Anywho's, that's it.
I forgot I also played a little League and TFT. I did TFT last night and I got a win. I only did one game and I got a win. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the Adbox Gaming News. Welcome to Out of the Box Gaming News with Lindsay Picard.
CD Projekt Red announced that it would be reconsidering its approach to future Cyberpunk games, including Cyberpunk 2077's planned multiplayer mode. And CD Projekt Red has announced that they will be adjusting their future marketing strategies to include more gameplay and less concept designs. Starting April 6th, PlayStation Plus subscribers will have access to Oddworld Soulstorm on PS5, as well as Days Gone and Zombie Army 4 Dead War on PS4 and PS5. Following reports that parts of E3 2021's digital event could be locked behind a paywall, the ESA asserted that there will be no elements at E3 2021 that will be behind a paid-for-pass or paywall. The Analog Pocket Retro handheld system has been delayed to October, and in the announcement, the company linked to an article referencing supply chain distributions caused by the Ever Given's traffic jam. And the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker saga has been delayed. No new date has been set, but the game developers promise an update soon.
Ever Givens or Everett Green?
It says Everett Givens. I think whenever I got the news thing for or whatever, it was that big canal jam that happened.
Yeah. Everett Green.
No.
No. Well then wherever I got the news they effed up. But yeah. Which I didn't know anything about this Analog Pocket Retro thing.
Oh, see, this is Ever Given.
I had no idea.
Oh,
Ever Givens?
Oh,
What's Ever Givens? Oh well.
But yeah, more stuff on CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk.
Sag.
Nice to know that in the future they're going to be, including more gameplay and less of the concept design. Because I think with the concept design is what got, people overhyped for, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'm very disappointed with the PlayStation Plus games for this month. Like Oddworld Soulstorm, that never has interested me. And then Days Gone. Days Gone is like, I understand that it's going to be one that PS4 people can get, but it's a game that is in the PlayStation Plus collection if you have a PS5. So I already have it. And then Zombie Army 4, like just hearing the name, I'm not going to be interested in playing at all. So so for me, like, this was just a big disappointment.
There's always next month.
I know. And then nice to know that they confirmed that EA 2021 is not going to be E3, not EA, my bad. E3 is not going to be it's not going to be, you know, behind a paywall. So it's good to know, because I miss E3, and even though it's going to be like, you know, a digital thing, I wouldn't want to have to pay, because all the other times before I would just watch it on like Twitch. I just looked up this analog pocket thing or whatever. It looks like a Game Boy.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, sad that it's delayed because of that. But it looks like a Game Boy. I don't know what all you can do with it. It straight up is a Game Boy. Look at that. That's slick.
That's nice.
No emulations. I mean, are all the games in there? Or do you have to buy the game separately? Does it all? Game Gear, blah, blah, blah. Do you have to have the old game? Oh, bruh, dude. You can play, like, the old Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games? Oh, that's cool.
Hold on. What does that say? You can even connect it.
You can even connect Pocket to your Mac PC or other hardware with MIDI and sync cables.
Huh.
That's cool.
I want to know a price for this thing.
Original display. You can have original display of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. That's really cool. You can do multiplayer. I just want to know, how can I get games? Do I have to buy those old games? I don't want to do that. Like, those could be pricey.
Compatible with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance game cartridges.
Yeah, if you still have them, yeah. Yeah, this is really cool.
Okay.
If you still have them and the batteries aren't dead.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a Pokemon Yellow that, I mean, whenever I would plug it in, it would still work. And I heard Pokemon Yellow was supposed to, like, the battery on it was supposed to die out, like, years ago.
Or were you able to save your game?
Can't remember. I would have to go back in and look.
Yeah. You're telling me that the cartridges have batteries?
Yeah, all of the old Game Boy cartridges had batteries in them that maintained their little memory card in them. So after a certain amount of years, all of the old Game Boy cartridges started to die, literally, and they wouldn't be able to save games, and all the old save games would be gone. So you would like start up the game, it would run perfectly because it still runs, it's still on there. But then you would go to like save your game, and I think it would even say that you could save your game, and it would save it, and then you turn off your Game Boy, and then next time you turn it back on, it wouldn't say continue game, it would just say new game, because it wasn't actually saving your game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like these are going to be about $200.
Which isn't bad considering what it does, and it, yeah. But they are out of stock.
And white. Well, yeah, because they haven't released yet.
No, I think people pre-ordered them.
Oh, well, it was supposed to ship in May, but it's been delayed to October, which makes sense. If the parts you need for them, you can't get.
I feel like I've heard about this before, and they sold out super duper quick. I think this is the thing from what I've heard before, but people were talking about, like, it sold out. Like, whenever they announced it and they put up pre-orders, it sold out, like, extremely fast. Oh, dang. So it could be a while before I would get one, if I ever get one. The thing is, I just don't have the games for it.
And we've got some.
I know we have some, but we also still have the Game Boy Color that still works.
Yeah.
But
anywho.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, so we are definitely running out of time. So yeah. Trivia question?
Trivia question.
Is that me?
I hope you guys have been thinking about that trivia question because it is time for us to give our answers.
Yeah. So, our question is, what popular dining franchise is the founder of Atari also responsible for? So we want to know, the guy who founded Atari, he also founded a dining franchise. What is that dining franchise?
I don't have a guess.
I've got so many weird things rattling around in my head right now.
Like what?
Thing is, I've just got to be. I also have to try to think of like what dining like franchise came out around that time. And I don't know anything about like dining restaurants or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even think about like during that time. I was just kind of like, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. If
What dining
time
restaurant would that
like
dude be connected to?
Fazoli's. I'm just kidding. That was a random restaurant I thought of. Guess you know it's not Fazoli. Y'all heard of Fazoli's?
No.
Maybe that was just a where I was from type restaurant. There was one in Anderson. I don't know.
So, Atari's American, right? Yeah, we're gonna say that. All right, so I'm gonna go with the answer that might be like too obvious because it's like it's like food and games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but there's a couple of those. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be Dave and Buster's. I'm going with Chuck E. Cheese
Okay.
because it make like like food and then games because Atari,
I didn't even think of those.
right? Like
That makes a lot of sense.
But that might be too obvious, which is why I was like, maybe it's just a fast food restaurant or some random place. But I'm sticking.
Now,
I'm sticking with the mouse.
Now that you brought that up, I'm over here. At first, I was like, I don't know. Okay, so now that you brought that up, now I'm thinking of like different pizza places, because you normally back in the day, pizza places you would go and they would have arcade machines there.
Oh, dude, what if it's just like Domino's?
See, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. The only one I can think of where that I've actually gone in, sat down, and ate where there was like arcade machines is like a Pizza Hut.
Pizza Inn's got games.
Pizza Inn's not popular around here, and I didn't have. That's why I was like, thinking Pizza Hut. The only other one I know was like CC's Pizza, but
that's what I was thinking.
CC's. But I want to say Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Okay.
That's a good one.
The answer. I don't know how Will does it. Chuck E. Cheese.
I mean, it made sense.
I mean, yeah, it does.
It made sense.
It does.
And I didn't even think of it,
but how
so
come
I didn't want to copy.
There were never any Ataris in Chuck E. Cheese. Dude, I tell you what, I would have spent so much more time in Chuck E. Cheese if there were actual video games there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine?
Dang,
but yeah, and so I even Googled it, because sometimes I don't know if my trivia... Dang,
that was a really good guess.
I just cut myself. What the heck?
Like those didn't even cross my mind. I was like, crap, I feel like he has it with Chuck E. Cheese, but I want to go with this because pizza
that was
places.
Solid, yes.
Yeah.
Look at that. I made myself bleed.
Oh, no.
Oh. What was I saying? Oh, I googled it, and it is in fact true. So the guy who founded Atari also founded Chuck E. Cheese.
Dang.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What a entrepreneur.
I know, right?
Like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make one of the most iconic video game like consoles ever. Oh yeah. Also, here's an animatronic rat.
Yeah. Like, what was the idea of that? It's like, why? Hey, it's like we want to have a performance at this restaurant. Like, yeah, we got pizza or whatever, and we got arcade, but we need something else. What do you want? A rat.
What?
A rat? Yes. Mechanical. It may scare children. It scares me, but children may love it. Let's go with it. It's a solid idea.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man. Good old Chuck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are definitely running out of time with this episode. Before we do, Lindsay has a big announcement.
Yeah. So, our first quarter giveaway ran this past week over on our Discord. I changed it up, guys. We did it on Discord instead of Instagram. I think I like it on Discord a lot better.
Easier.
The rules are simple. You joined the Discord if you weren't already in it. You reacted to the rules, and then you went over to the giveaway channel and reacted to the post with your favorite emoji. And I've learned my lesson. I need to specify next time only react with one, please. Because then I had to sort through.
And it's very important. She did say when you join the Discord to react to the rules. Please react to the rules, otherwise you will not be entered.
Well, Nick had to fix it for me because when I made the giveaway channel, She didn't
make
correctly.
It private, so anyone could go on, just look at it without reacting.
But he kind of early on, we fixed it. We good. The giveaway was about a $60 value and includes Valheim, Dead by Daylight, and a $20 gift card to the platform of your choosing. We had about 29 people enter, which was fantastic. Also, the giveaway, and I did specify when I posted it, ended yesterday, April 2nd, at 8 p.m. Eastern. There were several people who entered today, so you did not actually enter, unfortunately. Where was I? And if you're the winner and you happen to be watching us live right now, let us know in chat so you can receive a $25 gift card instead of a $20 gift card. So without further ado, our winner is Jar4. 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 Congratulations, Jar4. I'll post the winner on Discord after this episode, and I will be reaching out to you shortly to get you your prizes.
Yay.
But yeah, we'll have a next, let's see, March, April, May, about June, when our next quarterly giveaway will happen. So stick with us and stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who participated.
Yes, thank you.
And I guess if you have any giveaway prize suggestions, we would love to hear those too, as long as it's a reasonable. We're not giving away PS5.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
Unless Sony just hey, here's a PS5.
In which case we're giving to Will.
Then we'll be giving it to Will. And then if Sony gives us a second PS5, then we'll do a giveaway.
We would do a giveaway, but I don't foresee that happening.
But yeah, so we're going to wrap up this episode, and we want you to be able to contact us and check us out on other platforms. So, Will, let them know where they can do that.
Well, we've got a YouTube channel that's always popping at least weekly with beautiful content. That is the Out of the Box Gaming YouTube channel. And we've also got a fantastic Discord, which is linked there at our YouTube channel and anywhere else that you can find our link tree. Our Instagram is OOTB_gaming. Our Twitter handle is @GamingOOTB. Our TikTok is @OOTBgaming. And also be sure to check out our Patreon and all the fantastic perks that you can unlock there. We want to give a huge shout out to our Collector's Edition Patreon, Cody Watkins, also known as Kitsune Smith. If you have any familiarity with our podcast or Nick streams, you probably know Cody very well. He's quite a lovely dude. Smooches.
If you want to find me, you can do that by going to YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram at Ace King King, and Twitter is Ace King King 77.
Please make sure to leave a review on our podcast on whichever platform you found us on. Be sure to leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a follow, hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post a new video. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening, and please join us next week.
This has been Out of the Box Gaming with Nick Picard, Will Kinsey, and Lindsay. Thanks for playing along.